Hi again, it's Father John Rushofsky with another exciting episode of The Shepherd's Voice. It's been a long time since the last one. I've been caught up in a number of things, preoccupied with the pandemic, of course, and the changing circumstances of that, and a few staff changes and a couple of construction projects, so there's quite a bit going on here. There's been, as you know, this is why I wanted to speak to you, there's been an increase in the number of COVID cases. And so we've had to take some further precautions. Our offices are closed now, and most of our staff are working from their homes. And we've done this before, so we know that it works. You probably noticed this past weekend that all of us in the sanctuary at Mass are now wearing masks all the way through the Mass. This is hard for us. But we have to do it, and we have to keep up with whatever the new directives that come from the diocese or the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania or Allegheny County or wherever. So we're working really hard to keep up with this. One of the things that's been very encouraging for us is that there has been a steady increase in Mass attendance. When we first went back to Masses in the church back in June, I guess, there were about 500 and some attendees at Mass, and now it's between 900 and 1,000. So that's at all the places, all the Masses combined. So, but that is encouraging to see that people are coming up. But of course, it does present more issues for us to deal with and to try to manage. So, as the number has gone up, we have found it necessary to have people register for Mass, and we really ask you to be patient with us on this and to cooperate, because we have to do this in order to keep people safe. This is going to be especially true during the upcoming holiday Masses. We have Thanksgiving, of course, this week. We have the Holy Day coming up, Immaculate Conception, on December 8th, which is a Tuesday this year. And of course, we have Christmas and New Year's. And so I want to mention that Thanksgiving, we have a 9 o'clock Mass Thanksgiving morning at St. Sebastian, and that filled up fast at registration. As that Mass is full. So what we did was we at literally the last minute, are adding another Mass at St. Teresa at 9:30. So that will be the only one you can register for now. We also need to say that Christmas Eve reservations are filling up very fast. In fact, several of those Masses are already full. And please understand that we can't add any more Masses because we have 8 Masses on Christmas Eve, and we only have 2 organists. So this creates some logistical problems. So there are 2 morning Masses scheduled for Christmas Day, and that's just based on our understanding that most people by far prefer to go to Mass on Christmas Eve rather than Christmas Day. Our Christmas morning Masses are typically very light. So if those Mass registrations fill up, then we may have to add another Mass on Christmas morning. So you'll have to watch for that. If you are not registered and you come for a Mass and the Mass is full, you will not be able to get in. But we've made some interesting technological arrangements. You will be able to sit in your car in the parking lot and listen to the Mass live on your FM radio. And then you can come into the church for communion and then go right back out again. This is inconvenient, I understand, but it's the best we can do. And we're in uncharted waters here, and we're trying to do the best we can, to stay afloat. In fact, we say that we have to do things differently these days. And as I like to say, trying to keep up with all this is like trying to paint a moving train. In fact, one of our staff members said it's like driving a car while you're building it. So, but we can do this. We can do it. You've heard me say this before. Receiving communion is somewhat awkward. We understand this. And there is some misunderstanding due to our unfortunately unclear explanation last Sunday. I need to say very clear, I need to be clear about this. Communion can be received either by hand or by mouth. This is still an option that we are not permitted to remove. I would ask, though, this: if you receive communion by mouth, we ask you to please reconsider, as this is riskier, and we are required to sanitize our hand immediately each time someone receives communion by mouth. But it does remain an option. Last Sunday's directions were meant only for those who receive in the hand. However, in our desire for brevity, we neglected to mention that. So we apologize for some apparent misunderstandings this caused. I had a number of emails after the fact. So I want you to rethink, to realize this: to those of us who are distributing Holy Communion, the priests and deacons, we're on the front line. We're right there. And at the moment of communion, there is nowhere near 6 feet distance between us and the person receiving communion. And so we come way too close to almost everyone in the church. I want you to think about this. This is very risky, especially for those of us who are senior citizens. So please consider that when you're coming to communion. We ask that you are very cautious about how you receive communion. I said a moment ago, we can do this. We can do it. It's just that we need to do things differently. We have to think differently, and we have to think about what we're doing. One final thought here is that this is Thanksgiving week, and it's going to be a difficult one for almost all of us, unable to enjoy our usual routine and to spend time with loved ones. Although some people told me not spending time with their loved ones may be a blessing this year. That's another story altogether. We're not going to go into that. But you know, because of the way we have to do Thanksgiving this year, it makes us feel bad. But it also reminds us of those who don't have loved ones and those who cannot afford a meal of any kind. So let's not forget, please, to keep them in our prayers as we observe our Thanksgiving, however we may be doing that this year. So I want to wish a very happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Thanks for listening, and on we merrily go.